Hey, welcome back to the WalkB4UHuntNZ channel. If you're a subscriber, thanks for coming back. And this is your first time out, thanks for coming and have a look. Hit the subscribe button, check out the back catalogue, there's a bit going on in there. There's some funny bits to catch up on. And if you feel so obliged, hit the like button on your way through this one. Really appreciate that stuff, and it makes a big difference on YouTube as well for getting us out to new people. So today's goal is to do a review on the companion app that I've been using when I've been out hunting on my mobile phone. I'm using the Topo50 maps currently. That's what I've been using up until now. And just going through some of the things it can do and just a brief description on what it is. So the Topo50 app is available wherever you get your applications for your mobile phone. I believe this was $6.99, and I've been using that for this year. It's just a South Island, well, all the topographic maps of the South Island. So it's one thing that with Topo50 you need to buy the North Island one if you're in the North Island one, and obviously the South Island for the South Island. So what I find good about the app on the phone is obviously touchscreen phones are super easy to use. It's very familiar style of use, and you can get some really great detail in the maps. You also have an overlay of a satellite image, which comes down to a reasonable height, so you can get a bit of an indication of the vegetation in the area. That's pretty handy. Also water and things like that as well. So yeah, I've enjoyed using the app so far. It has some really cool features that we'll go into shortly. But it can be a little bit complex at times as well. So we'll go through that shortly. Okay, so now you're looking over the shoulder of my snazzy new WalkB4UHuntNZ t-shirt. We'll head in and go into the NZ Topo50 map. As you can see here, I'm looking at the Rock and Pillar area above Middlemarch and Central Otago. And as we zoom out, you can see that I've really been laying into the waypoints. All the blue shaded area is the DOC permit hunting area, areas of the South Island. The red areas that you can see are the restricted hunting areas. So from here, we can open the screen. We can go into the map, so you get a satellite image of the areas. You can see sort of, you know, the peaks and ridges, and obviously the hunting, the restricted and permit land, hunting land. We can zoom in, get a little bit closer into areas. But I prefer to do this actually on Google Maps or Google Earth. And I think this is better specifically for the topographic maps. So what we can do is we'll zip up the west coast here from Jackson's Bay, head up, and we'll get to this here, just out of Charleston, in between Greymouth and Westport. You can see a recorded track. So this is a path that Harry and I took on our first hunt back in January. Both the pre and post hunt podcasts are available on Spotify if you're interested. And when you look at that, it just records basically the path that you're moving. What you can do here is, we'll start with this. You can see the waypoints, so you can tap on a waypoint, and if you've saved it with a name, you can see what you saw there or why that waypoint's there. But now that we have this track highlighted, go to details, and that starts to give you some latitudes and longitudes, the distance you travelled, the average speed of the travel, the vertical range, how much climbing you did, and how much descent you did. You can get a graph with a cross section of the altitudes and over time, and you can also have it over distance as well. So, and that just shows the path you're in. You can also have speed, your average speed there. As you can see, some of these peaks here in the 20 kilometre region was when we're sitting in Harry's ute. but then you can also zoom in on different areas. So this is some pretty handy information. You can also change the colour of that. So now that we go out, that's purple. So you can log different paths and so on. What you can also do here is we'll go done. I'll create a waypoint. From there I can go okay. I can go to edit points, add another point there. Follow this track along for a little bit. And add all these points. We'll say done there. You can highlight that as well. Go into details. And then it starts to give you, it gives you the same information, except that obviously they can't give you speed or time because you haven't moved that or recorded that track. Okay. So from there, I can hit the GPS button, and if I bang the button next to it, it takes you right back to Christchurch City. That's my location. So from there we can go, let's head down back into, say, Milford Sound. And this is where it really starts to be, this is what I find really handy about this app. So we can come in here and we'll go, okay, let's zoom down into this area. And you can start to get some scale of where you're actually looking at. And especially down in these areas, you can see how close these lines are together. This is some gnarly steep country. I mean, that's only 1,200 metres, and boy, oh boy, look at that. So, and just being able to go in and out in an area is just super handy. There's I've got the Te Araroa Trail highlighted. In the settings, you've got a range of things you can choose from. So yeah, in the settings area, we have the DOC open permit hunting area. You can switch that on. That's that blue overlay. The restricted area, the Te Araroa Trail. I just keep that highlighted because it's particularly sort of coming into the March, April, May time of year. There's definitely going to be people walking out there. You can also have the DOC huts and campgrounds highlighted. You can highlight the DOC tracks, fishing game access points, and then you can start to personalise your settings. So you can show the compass overlay, you can have your icon sizes, bit bigger or smaller depending on the way your eyesight works in particular. Change your units of measure, your recording settings. I've got mine set pretty tight, so it tries to record as accurate as possible. If you're at the pub and you don't want to show your mates all your waypoints, you can hide all of those. You can import data from, say, someone else can send it to you, and vice versa. You can export it as well. And I've done that for Luanda a couple of times when I've gone out solo by myself. It is a little bit more difficult to use. Like I end up being me exporting it and then importing that information from her phone. Your location status, you can change that from here, and then it just comes down into the legend, basically describing what you're seeing in the topographic map in greater detail, whether you're looking at a highway or a gravel road, some railway tracks, power lines, right through to some fences or trigs or all sorts. That's all sort of contained in here. So out from there, you can go, you can record a path in whatever colour you want, hit the record track button and you're away. We've created a track, and that's also how you create a waypoint. You can name that as well. So you can type in sign, something like that, and bang a waypoint in. There we go. You can also go directly to, here we go, go directly to some coordinates. And you can also search. So search if you know whether there's a hard or a river that you want to have a look at, or someone's given you a piece of information. So I'll go and look at this river. You can just, okay, right. Hit this button and it takes you right there. And that has taken us right up into the Alps. So From there, the other thing it shows is all of these dots here, as I mentioned before, you can have it so it overlays where all the huts are. And when you start to get out to here, there's parts of, around the Arthur's Pass area, there's just a huge amount of huts. You can see them all just laid in through there. And it's just, I thought it was really incredible when I looked at that and just seen how many huts there are in that area. Up the Mungo River. What's the name of this hut here? This is the Poet Hut. Yeah, and it just goes to show you actually how much access we have to this land in our country, and what resources are out there for us. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, so there it is. I've really enjoyed using this app so far this year. It's probably, apart from the actual camera on my phone, the number one go-to thing on my phone, particularly out in the field. I'm quite waypoint crazy. Like as I'm moving along a track or working my way into an area, I'll just keep banging waypoints in. I have recorded tracks a few times when I've found a good way to access an area. I definitely put that to use, which is handy for coming back in the dark. Although one of the tracks I know really well now, if I was to break off the track, I'll be able to sort of like go, oh, okay, maybe I'm a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, north, south, whatever you want to call it, and I can just sort of move in that direction and pick up where I was. But that record track function and adding the waypoints is really handy. I've really liked those features. So yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. Drop us a comment if you have any questions, or if you just want to let us know what you think, what you're using. I'm definitely interested to know what other people are doing. I think the mobile phone features that are on offer now are really, really big game changers, and they probably just add to the versatility of the mobile phone. Considering 90% of the places you go, you actually can't use it for its core purpose. So, yeah, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, WalkB4UHuntNZ, and jump on Spotify, listen to the podcast. Cool team. You got a Walk Before You Hunt, and then you got a bit of a legend just here as well.
What's a legend?
A legend is the guy using the phone. No, legend's describing the symbols on the map in greater detail, so you can decipher what they are. So the difference between a state highway, a road, a gravel road, a closed track, a walking track, a bush track, things like that. So all that information is there. I think one of the big things is that you're replacing a paper map or some sort of fabric map, which is set in its, what do you call that thing? Hold on, I'll try that again, surely. This thing definitely doesn't like water, so it's ensure you have like some sort of protective layer across it, a dry bag, or I've been running a plastic bag. That's pretty handy. So you got to have something like that to protect it. And another good idea is make sure if you're quite a prolific user of your phone, make sure you've got a little battery pack thing. I forget what those things are called though. Plug them in at home, charge them up, and then you might get a full charge out of it or something like that. And remember to take your cable. I've left the cable at home, carried the battery in, left the cable at home. That's a great trick. The last thing that we'll add while we're talking about the phone out in the bush is at night, keep it close to you, keep it in your sleeping bag, something like that. Modern sleeping bags actually have a pocket for that sort of thing. I know my new one does. There was a handy little feature that I didn't actually pick up on until a little bit later, well, until I bought it essentially. But keeping that close to you and warm will save that battery from deteriorating overnight when it gets really cold. That's a handy little tip.